Hi, I'm Kirby Allison. Thank you for all your comments and questions that you guys have posted on our YouTube channel. After reading them all and answering as many as possible, I've selected 5 that we're going to feature in today's Q&A video. Each of these individuals I have selected will receive a complimentary pair of our sovereign grade shoelaces as a token of our appreciation for their participation in our channel. In today's Q&A video, we're going to be answering questions about color matching. Very important and very often asked question of how do I know what color shoe polish is right for my shoes. Our first question today is from Alex Roll, and it reads, Mr. Allison, I wear Allen Edmonds 5th Avenue in brown, which by the way was recently discontinued and replaced by the lighter coffee. You end up using what is called the Havana or tobacco brown as the best color match. However, I noticed on your website that the number 34 tobacco appears much darker than the shade you're using here, and there is no Havana brown listed. So are you actually referring to and using the number 37 medium brown? Great question. No, we're actually using, indeed, the number 34 tobacco brown. They also call it the Havana brown, which is, I think, another name for it, but it's the same color. It's the number 34. And you know, herein lies, I think, one of the greatest challenges about shoe polish, and this is actually why we sell samples of all of our cream polishes on our website. And that's because it's very difficult for us to digitally represent the color of the actual polish. I mean, for one, every cream and wax polish is going to be transparent. So if we represent the color digitally, it really misrepresents the actual applied finish because, again, all polishes are transparent and are going to tint the original finish, not totally change it. Again, polish isn't like an oil paint, that has 100% saturation. It is only meant to really complement and fill in the color, not totally change it. That said, we do sell samples of all of our cream polishes. I think it's $3 for a sample. You can order as many as you'd like in different colors. And it allows you, if you're really trying to be precise about the color you're selecting, to test it out on the shoe first. And that, at the end of the day, is our recommendation, is that you can choose the perfect polish, but until you actually put that polish on the leather, you really never know how the two are going to interact together. The second recommendation that I would say is that there's no such thing as a perfect match for anything other than black. And that's because there's so many different colors of finishes. Finishes are often applied by hand, and so there's even going to be variation of the same finish within a line of shoes. And so we have 16 colors of cream and wax polishes. That is a very wide palette. Those really serve most, if not all, shoes. Now, it's important to remember that polishing should evolve the finish of a shoe. I mean, that's one of the beautiful things I love about shining, is that whenever you receive a new pair of shoes and begin polishing it, you begin to give character and life to the shoe, and you can decide to take that shoe a direction. So say, for instance, your brown 5th Avenues, if you're using the Havana or tobacco brown, maybe it's going to darken it lightly. Or you could use a slightly lighter color to try to keep it as close to the original finish as possible. Or you could use something like a cognac or a mahogany and start to introduce a little bit of red into that shoe to give it a little bit of additional depth. The other thing that you can always do is begin to burnish or antique the shoe by using a darker polish on the toes or the heel counters. And so there's a lot of things that you can do to really give character to a shoe, and I've never seen a pair of shoes, especially Allen Edmonds, that don't receive any finishing at the factory. I've never seen a pair of shoes that don't look better with polish. And so I would encourage you to have fun, play around a little bit. If you're ever completely unhappy, remember that you can take it back to the original finish by simply pulling off all of the polish using the Saphir Renomat or any type of polish stripper. Our second question today is from Joseph Talentino on our How to Darken a Pair of Leather Dress Shoes video. If you have no plans of making a burnished effect on shoes, what's the use of matching the Pat Deluxe wax color with the shoe just in terms of shining, not covering scuffs? Won't the neutral color be more versatile to use for all? Great question, Joseph, and this really goes back to the fundamentals of shoe shining, and that is that your primary polish that you should be using to shine your shoes is a cream polish. And that's because a cream polish is going to have the highest concentration of pigments and really do the best job nourishing and hydrating that leather. So any type of recoloring or refinishing of the finish itself is always going to be achieved through that cream polish. Now that said, It's also nice to have pigment in your wax polish, but it's not as important as it is in your cream polish. A wax polish has a far lower concentration of pigments and is more transparent than a cream polish. And for that reason, a wax polish is really great for tinting or burnishing. But if you're trying to be lean and don't want to buy too much of anything, there's no question that a simple neutral wax polish on a well-polished pair of shoes that doesn't have any scuffs or scratches is totally sufficient for introducing those hard waxes that's going to give you that high shine. Also take a look at our video on the differences between waxes and cream polishes, where we go into this specific question in greater detail. Our third question today is from Mr. James Cord on our How to Repair Scratched Shoes video. And it reads, is it possible to get a matching dye or send these shoes back to be recolored from Allen Edmonds? I was impressed at how nice they came out with even just polishing them and without a dye job. So great question. There are a few patina experts here in the United States, but there's honestly not that many as there are in Europe that can actually strip a pair of shoes and completely re-dye them using a permanent alcohol-based leather dye like the Saphir Tincture Française. Now, in a lot of instances, if you're just looking to evolve or kind of fill in a color, a good cream polish is able to do that quite effectively. Now, it's not going to be permanent, so if you use something like the Saphir Renomat or a leather cleaning soap, it will pull some of that pigment off, which wouldn't occur if you used an alcohol-based leather dye. But it's a great way to repair scratches or scuffs, any type of damage to your leather, and really is totally effective in 80 to 90% of all the use cases. So if you have any type of scratches or discoloration and you have a nice open grain leather, I really would encourage you to just experiment with how effective a really high quality cream polish can be at concealing that damage. Our fourth question today is from Tyler Clendon, and it's on our video on how to choose the right shoe polish color. It reads, great video. Looking back at whenever I first started collecting and investing in high quality shoes, I definitely was way too freaked out about matching polish to shoe color. I remember studying the light brown and wondering whether it was safe for a copper museum for an hour. Super helpful of you to put them on white paper, especially for a color like Bordeaux, which looks way better with the contrast than what I would have imagined when you see it in the container. So Tyler, thank you so much for that. I mean, I think you really hit on such an important part of just kind of the evolution of someone that is really beginning to enjoy shining their shoes. I mean, for me personally and for a lot of our customers, for someone that is just starting out, really doesn't have any experience shining their shoes, they're often intimidated and afraid that they're somehow going to mess up or ruin their shoes. And it really couldn't be any farther from the reality. I mean, in the beginning, everyone's a little bit nervous, maybe a little bit stressed out, concerned whether or not they're doing it right. But once you get a little bit of experience behind you and begin to relax, that's whenever you really begin to enjoy and experience the magic of shining your own shoes. And the magic of shining your own shoes is being able to play around with the polish colors like an artist palette and really evolve the look of your shoes, darker or lighter, begin introducing different colors. Now, I'm not saying you're going to introduce, purple to a light brown pair of shoes, but you can certainly introduce a little bit of medium brown to your light brown shoes and begin to see that color evolve. Or maybe you're going to add cognac to a medium brown shoe or a mahogany, to a medium brown pair of shoes and introduce some reds and some other browns. So, once you get into it, you relax a little bit, you begin to have fun with it. And that's the best advice I can give to anyone that's just starting out to really take care of their shoes themselves. And that's to not stress about it and to have fun and to be okay seeing the finish or the patina of your shoes evolve, because that's really what separates a beautiful pair of shoes that someone has loved and cared for years from a pair that's fresh off the shelf. If you need any help getting started, of course, we have an extensive library of videos on this channel to help you learn how to polish your shoes, to help you learn how to do a beautiful mirror shine, and to even help you learn how to antique your shoes. Now, one of our other viewers, Darth Vader, who's a frequent commenter on this channel, makes a great point to this question. And he says that I used to also think too much about matching polish colors, and then I realized that you can mix the colors on shoes. And that's another great point, and that all these cream polishes can be mixed. So if you really are looking for the perfect match, buy 2 or 3 different polishes and play around with mixing them in a separate little dish so that you can create your own custom color of polish. totally acceptable, and another great way that you can just add that personalized touch to the way that you take care of your shoes. Our last question today is from Sherry McConaughey, a female commenter on this channel. Thank you so much, Sherry. And her comment reads, do you recommend using a neutral polish? My husband has a beautiful pair of oxblood shoes, but matching the color shade is proving very difficult. So a great question, Sherry. I admire you being so engaged in actually taking care of your husband's shoes. The reality is as I said, there's no such thing as a perfect match. It just doesn't exist. So, you just need to kind of let go of the idea that you're gonna have the shoes look exactly the same and really be okay seeing the color of the shoes evolve. Now, the next thing that I wanna say, and I've said this in this video also, is that none of these shoe polish colors, especially the creams, are going to 100% change the color of your shoes. The pigment is always a little bit transparent and is going to evolve the shoe. So if the shoe polish looks especially dark, test it on a small, hidden area of the shoe just to see how that leather is going to react. But more likely than not, you're just going to see a more of a tinting effect than anything else, and that is perfectly acceptable and beautiful. If you're really worried about changing the color of a pair of shoes, I always recommend using a shade lighter. Now, in something like an oxblood, where we only have one color that really matches that, it's going to be difficult. And in that case, I'd recommend just trying to either, really evolve and patina those shoes by seeing kind of where that polish takes them, or you can dilute them using the neutral cream polish. If you have any questions or need any help on matching the proper color polish, remember that 1, you can always order samples so you don't have to commit to buying a full jar. Second, we have an Allen Edmonds shoe polish color matching guide on our website. And then we also have a video that goes through the same thing that shows you in a little bit greater detail kind of the magic of some of these colors. So if you have any questions, we're here to help. Check out our videos. We've developed extensive content on that. Of course, we're only going to be developing more videos. So if you have any questions, please ask them in the comments section below. Email customer service, check out hangerproject.com, and of course, look through our full archive of videos. Once again, I'd like to take a moment to thank everyone for their comments and questions. It's your engagement on our YouTube channel that make these Q&A videos possible. Not only do these Q&As give me an opportunity to answer in greater depth a lot of the questions that I'm already answering, but they allow me to take a moment to acknowledge my appreciation for everyone's involvement in this channel. I absolutely enjoy this platform. I really have fun interacting with you and answering your questions. If you haven't taken an opportunity to ask a question or make a comment, I invite you to do so. Even if you don't have any questions to ask, just sharing your opinion or your thoughts about our content just helps grow this community. I read all those questions and comments personally and really do enjoy getting back to them as many as I possibly can. If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up and please subscribe to our channel and turn on your notifications by clicking the bell to the right of the subscribe button so that you can learn whenever we release new videos. If you have any questions or comments about anything we discussed on this video, please ask them in the comments section below. And of course, please visit hangerproject.com, where we have the largest, most comprehensive collection of luxury garment care and shoe care accessories in the world, as well as many other incredible products for the well-dressed. And while you are there, subscribe to our newsletter to receive notifications of new product launches, promotions, as well as a weekly digest of all the videos we publish here on our YouTube channel. I'm Kirby Allison, and thanks for joining me.